Hello everyone and welcome to Afro Movie Recaps. The movie is about a clumsy, billionaire businessman and failed presidential candidate, who is obsessed with Donald Trump. Just as his campaign seemed doomed, Ajadi gets anointed by a major party and becomes a legitimate contender, all thanks to the power of social media. The movie opens with our protagonist, Chief Olalekan Ajadi, looking at a picture of Donald Trump and trying to copy his posture as he dreams of one day becoming president like him. His wife Kemi Ajadi walks in and tells him, he has copied the posture better than yesterday and he is almost there. She then goes further to say she is no longer happy with him always running for the presidential elections when he knows he won't win and is wasting a lot of money doing so. He tells her not to bother about the money but focus on the dream, because that is how Donald Trump wasn't focus on money but the dream, and one day, he achieved his dreams. His wife told him, that is America and this is Nigeria. He told her, as it was for Donald Trump, so it will be for Chief Olalekan Ajadi. He went further to say, he was a king in the boardroom just like Donald Trump and is going to become the CEO of Nigeria just like Donald Trump is the CEO of America. Kemi went on to say she would now be forced to cut down her spendings because of these campaigns. While Chief Ajadi's first wife is living lavishly in London. He told her not to worry, and after the whole election thing, he will take her on a shopping spree to anywhere in the world. To which she replied, if only the money is not finished by then. Ajadi laughed and said, just like Donald Trump, his money cannot get finished. Just then he receives a call from Fred, who is his longtime friend and campaign manager, to come for an interview. As he was about leaving, he turned and looked at his wife and asked, how do I look? She said fabulous, and with the Donald Trump posture, he said to her, you're fired. And she replied, I love you. Michael-eyed Hen, a young presidential aspiring who is from a solid political background, is been interviewed and asks if he doesn't think his age will be a problem to his aspirations. To which he replied and said, no, because the past generations have failed the country woefully and it is time for his generation to move Nigeria into a great future. So, he is very qualified for the job. The interviewer then asked him if he was married, to which he replied he is single but is ready if he finds the right woman. The interviewer then tweeted #find Michael a wife, and boom, the whole social media was buzzing with retweets. Kemi, watching this on the television, took her phone to call her friend Stephanie, who is single, and inform her of this. However, the blogger and social media influencer was busy preparing to update her fans during a video shoot. Choosing his campaign slogan, Chief Ajadi said he preferred, make Nigeria great again, to which Fred, with all the friendly support you can ever get, said he liked it. Fred then quietly asked if by some miracle, they win the elections, won't people ask them to keep their campaign promises? And Ajadi replied surprisingly, are they planning not to keep their promises? The interviewer then came to introduce Michael to Chief Ajadi and told him he was a fellow presidential aspiring. Michael gave him a snobbish look. Chief Ajadi told Michael and everyone, was good to see youths becoming serious and running for offices like this, but hope he is not also lazy. To which he and Fred burst into laughter. This made Michael very uncomfortable as he left. As Ajadi and Fred were having their own interview, the real dons, members of the ruling party, were having a crisis meeting as they didn't have enough money to fund their party campaign at the elections. One of the ministers said, they sure need a miracle, and another sarcastically replied, the same kind of miracle you needed when you built a 4-star hotel in your village without any proper road leading to it. He then answered back by saying he who is wasting state's money by funding lavish parties and inviting girls from all corners of Africa. On television, the interviewer asks Chief Ajadi why after 3 failed attempts he is still running for office of president. He replied, if Donald Trump could despite all the odds, then he can. The interviewer asks him if he was a Donald Trump fan. And he replied, you're fired. Watching with the dons, a campaign secretary suggested they bring Chief Ajadi, who is a loser to their party, use his money to fund the campaign for someone better, to which they all agreed. Stephanie called Kemi to apologize for not taking her call earlier. She said she just landed in Nigeria now, to which Kemi was surprised she traveled. However, she brushed that aside by telling her she needs to hook up with Michael as he was looking for a wife. Stephanie asked her if he is rich, and she told her he is a presidential aspirant. Stephanie then asked her about her husband Chief Ajadi if he is also running for president, and Kemi replied yes, he is, and she knows he is just doing it for fun to show off his wealth. Chief Ajadi and Fred are having some drinks at a local bar when a preacher walked up to him and told him to prepare, for his time had come. Ajadi walked out angrily, wondering what kind of pastor comes to preach in a beer parlor. Just as he was getting into his car, he received a call from the Dons, inviting him for a meeting with them. Though very surprised, still agreed to meet with them. The Dons told him his party was not as influential as theirs, and if he wants to win the elections, he should join their party and fund the elections and leave the rest of the work to them. Before agreeing to their proposal, he first requested to talk to his wife Kemi and to his friend Fred about it. The Dons agreed and also told him to remember to tell his wife she would soon become the First Lady of Nigeria, which made Chief Ajadi very excited, and he tweeted, "Big announcement coming." While introducing the presidential candidates, the TV presenter described Chief Ajadi as an unserious contender who is up for another unsuccessful run, and it is believed his first wife Lady Ajadi left Nigeria for London as she saw him as an embarrassment. Just as Kemi was cursing the TV presenter for presenting false rumors about her husband, Chief Ajadi walked in singing and praising God. Kemi, without even knowing why he is in such a wonderful mood, stood up and joined him in singing and praising God. When he told Kemi he is in such a great mood because the Dons invited him for a meeting, Kemi quickly asked why such serious people like the Dons will invite someone like him. Ajadi was not happy. Kemi saw him as unserious, to which she quickly apologized, stating she didn't mean it that way. When Chief Ajadi told Kemi the reason for the invite from the Dons, she was very happy. Ajadi got angry with her when she said as First Lady she will be spending and giving out a lot of money to people. He said, the state's money is not for personal spending but rather for the state development, and if she wants money to spend lavishly, she can freely use his private money. Chief Ajadi is then announced and presented by the Dons as their party candidate, which Stephanie gives an update of the most trending hashtag in Nigeria at the moment, sarcastically saying hashtag Make Nigeria Great Again is gaining some popularity with hashtag Find Michael a Wife at the top. During Chief Ajadi's first campaign out as a now DAC candidate, he showed his dancing skills and the moves quickly become very popular. Chief Ajadi was using the song of an upcoming artist for his popular campaign dance, and when the artist, Kachi, saw this, he was furious and promised to sue Chief Ajadi for using his song for his campaign without his permission. It is Sunday morning and Chief Ajadi's wife, Kemi, wants them to go to church, and when she tells him the church they will be going to, he laughed and said, "That is the church of the pastor who is always enjoying chicken soup at the beer parlor." Ha 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 ha. At the church the pastor introduced Chief Ajadi to the congregation and even addressed him as the next president of Nigeria. After a heart-warm speech from Chief Ajadi to the congregation, they all cheered as they began to dance following his special dance moves, which was already gaining so much popularity on the internet. The DAC primaries elections results were ready, and to the shock and surprise of the Dons who were trying to trick him, Chief Ajadi won and was declared the flag bearer of the DAC party and main candidate to represent their party at the presidential elections. With the victory, Chief Ajadi, his wife Kemi and Fred celebrated by dancing to Kachi's song in Chief Ajadi's special moves. Kachi, who was watching it all with his girlfriend, got really angry. Chief Ajadi was using his song again without his permission. His girlfriend insisted they should sue Chief Ajadi for this. Chief Ajadi's special dance moves were giving him and also Kachi's song a lot of popularity. It was been streamed on all platforms and you could see people copying the dance moves in almost every corner of the country and even abroad. Chief Ajadi's first wife Lade, who lives in London, was already celebrating with her friends, telling them they might be looking at the next First Lady of Nigeria. Chief Ajadi was currently the most trending person in all of Nigeria. Michael, on the other hand, had also won the primaries for this party, becoming the flag bearer of his party and also gaining a lot of attention from the masses, especially the ladies. The Dons, on the other hand, are planning on how to remove and replace Chief Ajadi as the flag bearer of their party with their own candidate. They plan to use social media to drive public opinions against Chief Ajadi, which will force him to step aside for their own candidate. On the other side of town, Chief Ajadi is invited for a meeting in which Kachi's management team have laid a complaint against him for using his song in his campaign without his permission. When he got in, and saw Kachi, he greeted him warmly and asked the upcoming artist why he wasn't releasing more songs because he was a big fan of his music and he was sure Kachi must have seen him dancing to his song on the TV for his campaigns. Before anyone could say anything, Chief Ajadi asked Kachi to please release a new song which he will use for his campaign and his management should communicate to him how much the compensation package was going to cost. The meeting ended even before it began. Ha ha ha, money talks. In the next scene we see Chief Ajadi and his wife, yelling at the campaign manager appointed to him by the Dons because he was trying to talk him out of copying the Donald Trump posture. While having breakfast together, Ajadi tells his wife Kemi, when they move to the State House, she won't be allowed to eat her local dishes for breakfast and would have to follow him in having English breakfast like the Queen of England. As he was still explaining, Kemi opened a bowl of sweet goat meat pepper soup and Ajadi almost had a heart attack as he asks his darling wife for some but she refused, telling him to keep copying the Queen of England and enjoy his English breakfast. One of the party heads of the DAC was furious with Chief Ajadi because there was a trending picture of his wife Kemi, playing matchmaker for popular blogger and influencer, Stephanie with young presidential aspirant, Michael, claiming it was going to ruin their party's chances of winning the elections. Chief Ajadi told him not to bother about it and they should ignore the situation as another story will definitely come up on social media which will make people forget about that. Chief Ajadi and Kemi were having a chill time in the living room when his first wife, Lade, walked in. She had been following the progress of his campaign and decided to fly back to Nigeria to claim the seat of First Lady of Nigeria just in case he gets to win the elections as she was his only legally wedded wife. He angrily walked out on her as he reminded her, she has never been supportive of his dreams and she wasn't welcomed so she should go back to London. Kemi on the other hand felt threatened with Lade's presence but Chief Ajadi assured her she had nothing to worry about as she has been the one by him all these times and Lade can't just come from England and be a threat to her position as First Lady. As tension rose between the two women during a family photo shooting, the evil campaign manager employed by the Dons for Chief Ajadi took videos of the situation and shared them on social media, which was part of the plan to sabotage Chief Ajadi and his family in the eyes of the public. The public opinion quickly changed and people began to wonder if Ajadi could manage the country if he was unable to manage his home. There was even huge comparison between the two ladies who will make the better First Lady, as Lade was a very educated and stylist woman. When the pastor asked him how he was doing with all what is going on out there, he said, like Donald Trump, he is getting strength from the many challenges he is facing during these final stages of the whole thing, after which they had a session of prayers. The day of the presidential debate came and all candidates were asked to tell the public what they will do to improve on the state of security in the country if they were elected as president. Because there was a heavy rise of terrorism and armed robbers in the country. Ajadi said, in order to solve this problem, he will create the Ministry of Happiness because if the people are happy there will be no need for them to become terrorists and armed robbers, as happy people do not become such. When another aspirant tried to mock him for running and failing 3 times, he promised her, she was going to be investigated for fraud and jailed when he becomes president, as she had many controversies surrounding her as a former Minister of Finance. He then turned to Michael and told him, if he stepped down from the race, he will reward him with the position of the Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, as he looked a promising and hardworking young man, and to the other aspirant, there will be nothing for him. He was then asked, with no experience in politics and 3 failed elections, how does he think he is best fit to rule Nigeria? Chief Ajadi replied, any man who is capable of marrying 2 wives, has children, is happy and in good health, then that person is capable of running the country. During his last campaign rally, Chief Ajadi assured Nigerians, if they voted for him, together they will work to make Nigeria great again, which was welcomed with loud cheers followed by signature dance moves with the ever-supportive Fred and Kemi by his side. Everyone was so happy, it seemed they had found hope with Chief Ajadi. At home, his first wife Lade felt embarrassed and asked him how a man of his status could be out there dancing in the public like a child. Ajadi told her if she is not comfortable with his dancing she should return to London, as she was not even welcomed there. He said the dancing makes him and the people happy and they will dance their way to making Nigeria great again. As she walked away in anger, Fred came in and he asked Chief Ajadi why his first wife Lade was angry. He told him, she wants him to stop dancing in public. Fred shouted in disagreement and wished for him never to find a reason to stop dancing in public and showing him the rapid popularity he was getting because of his dancing. The Dons on the other hand were growing increasingly worried with Ajadi's ever-growing popularity and were thinking of new ways to bring him down. They even pretended to celebrate with him by making him have a lot of wine and also have exotic girls dance with him. He was also tripped and made to fall after drinking, which pictures were quickly shared on the internet in a bid to sabotage him in the eyes of the public. This was the end of it all. Chief Ajadi was becoming less and less popular, with his campaign manager even confirming to him they were going to need a miracle to win the election, as that was how bad things were. He then asked the campaign manager to go because again, all hopes were gone while he and his wife Kemi had their dinner. The campaign manager stayed back and secretly took a video of Chief Ajadi and his wife Kemi dancing so romantically, which he shared on the internet, and that was the final nail on the coffin for Chief Ajadi's presidential hopes. The Dons were happy they finally brought Chief Ajadi down. The day of the elections came and Nigerians turned out in their numbers to vote for their preferred candidate. On the day of the elections, results were being read. Chief Ajadi and his wife Kemi were preparing for their vacation when Stephanie called Kemi and asked her turn to switch on the television quickly. As she did, against all odds, Chief Olalekan Ajadi was announced as the winner of the presidential elections. What happened? What changed his fortunes when all hope was lost? On the night the campaign manager took the video of Chief Ajadi and his wife Kemi dancing romantically, he forgot to trim a part of the video in which Chief Ajadi was telling her the plans he had for Nigeria, but now that will never come to reality because of the mess on social media. Before the campaign manager could realize his mistake, the video had already gone viral and Chief Ajadi's popularity had skyrocketed, and that is how the people of Nigeria trusted him with their votes. The movie ends with the president-elect receiving a call from President Donald Trump to congratulate him on his victory. Thanks for watching, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and do not forget to subscribe to watch many more videos like this.